What's going on, guys? It's K-Dub here with another episode of Crypto Zombie. Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're having a great day today. Now, Bitcoin is currently trying to push up at the top of this pattern right here, potentially looking for a breakout. Now, 2 days ago, I had spoke about how it was looking a little bit more neutral for Bitcoin, but Bitcoin was actually able to hold above some very critical levels. You can see, although we are at the bottom of this trend right here, we are in fact holding above the lower support. So this is actually good for Bitcoin, but let's not forget we have a big event coming up on Friday. Powell's going to be coming out speaking at Jackson Hole, talking about where the Fed could be going, giving us a little bit more insight into where they could be taking these rate hikes, whether they're going to start raising them, lowering them, staying where they're at. Was inflation just transitory? Also, some breaking news that literally just came out minutes before I was about to film this video, completely unexpected. That could also change some things. I do want to talk about that. However, specifically, I want to talk about something that has recently happened in the crypto charts, or at least in the crypto news, I should say, not in the charts, that it's a little bit concerning, and I do wonder how it's going to affect the entire space moving forward. But that being said, guys, we're getting very close to a potential break for this Bitcoin price action. So we're going to go over those key levels. We're going to go over those key macro factors, what's happening in the news, this breaking news that just came out, as well as could we finally be looking for that massive reversal. So we're going to keep our eyes on it. Maybe we'll even have that move by today or tomorrow. If that sounds good to you, you know what to do. If you're not subscribed, definitely consider it. Going to try to keep this video down a little bit shorter, get straight to the point here. You can see right here, guys, ultimately, if you're just going to draw this chart nice and simple, plain, so everyone can see, no indicators, just a couple lines. The red line up here, that's sort of where we keep getting rejected, right? The bottom line here, that's where we keep getting support. Anywhere in between the purple area, the parallel channel, is really just playing the levels, right? Ultimately, as long as we can stay above $20,738, $39, we're doing good, guys. And you can see right here, we literally exactly hit that level, bounced off of it. And everyone, if you were in that trade and you are still currently in that trade, you should actually be in profit at this level. Now, what should we expect? Because right here is the opportunities for putting in those longs. Anywhere down in these levels, we've been consolidating here for a while. Now, all these other times, we didn't really consolidate that long. We saw wicks, we saw bounces, but currently we're kind of hanging down here for a while. And if you want to be realistic about what we're forming, technically this right here is actually a bear flag, right? Technically, that's what it is. So should we be looking, for that extended move? Because really, if you wanted to do that, what you would do is you would measure from here to here. You would take that, and then you would put that at the point of the breakdown, which would bring Bitcoin all the way down to $5,000? No, guys, I don't think so. That's not what I believe to be happening. In fact, I think there's something else happening in the charts right now. If we zoom in, what are we doing on this lower time frame? We're actually trying to break out of a 4-hour ascending triangle, which is bullish on the lower time frames. And if we translate that into the bigger time frames, the top of that pattern is exactly coinciding with the top of this blue zone territory. So if Bitcoin by the end of today is able to close above $21,600 and tomorrow we confirm a candle above it, obviously leading into Friday, we'll see what happens. That could set Bitcoin up once again to retest potentially minimally around 23,800 or even come back into this wedge again and move upwards to our second blue zone territory of $25,815, okay? So those are the bullish targets, and a lot of people were getting bearish after this big drop, but that was expected. We were in a rising wedge. That's what happens. We came down here. Now we're forming another ascending triangle, the same way that we did here, the same way that we did here. That was a terrible triangle, but you guys know exactly what I mean. Now, if we do happen to get some bad news, maybe Friday comes out and they decide that things look worse than usual, you might see markets react negatively, which in that case, if Bitcoin does break below 20,738, there is a little bit of area around 19,725, but in all complete honesty, it's probably going to push the price down for a double bottom at around 18,960. The reason is because look at this. We have these candle closes right here. We have these wicks right here, and we have this wick right here as well, guys. And, obviously, if we just go way back over here, we can also see that that was, sort of the area where we had resistance right before, we bounced off to the top over here back in 2020. So ultimately, guys, that is what I'm looking at. And if you are trading this, I just want to point out something super quick that Titan of Crypto mentioned. These are the liquidation levels. There are a lot of shorts to liquidate at around 25 to 26K. There are a lot of longs to liquidate at around 17.2 to 19.4. However, there are more shorts right now than there are longs to liquidate according to High Block Capital. So I don't use this website. I think you have to pay for it. So I'm not 100% sure about this data. But if this is true, then it does look like there are more people currently right now shorting than longing. So there are more people who are bearish. Take that with a grain of salt. Take it as you will. Generally, when they start to pile up too much to one side, you see the squeeze to the other side. So if we're seeing everyone starting to go short, there is a good chance we could see that short squeeze to the upside, even if it's just short-lived, even if it's just for a day or two. But just wanted to point that out, guys. Keep that in mind. Friendly reminder, guys, if you do want to learn how to trade, I highly recommend that you check out my tutorial popping up above and take advantage of over $15,000 in bonuses below. Takes 30 seconds to sign up. Check that out. Link below in the description. Make sure you guys watch those videos if you want to know how to trade profitably, but also responsibly. Risk management, extremely important. Now, let's get back to the S&P because we know that the S&P, right, was coming up on this rising wedge, fell out as expected. Now, currently, we're still struggling. We're not out of the woods just yet. We are still at this resistance. However, if the S&P can flip that resistance of 41.55 into support, could be also very good for Bitcoin. Now, why are we seeing this potential reversal? Because currently, right now, the DXY is stalling out at this double top right here, also coinciding with this parabolic move. And we didn't even quite get to the top of the blue zone. That'd be around 110. Currently, we're just stalling at around 108. But if the dollar does start to lose its momentum and come back down, then we will probably, we're probably definitely going to see Bitcoin start to run because they are very inversely related. Now, there are a few things I need to talk about. I want to discuss what's happening on Friday. We'll go over that real quick, and then we'll talk about something else very interesting. So Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell will have a chance, if he wants to take it, to reset expectations in financial markets when central bankers gather this week at their annual Jackson Hole retreat. Powell speaks on the economic outlook at 10 a.m. So that's when it's going to come out, 10 a.m., which is good. My videos don't usually come out until around lunchtime, so we should be all right on that. I should be able to bring that to you. Make sure you guys are following me over on Twitter at the Crypto Zombie, if you want that breaking news right away. Washington time Friday, and he's expected to restate the Fed's resolve to keep raising interest rates. Now, according to Laura Rosner-Warburton, a senior U.S. economist at Macro Policy Perspectives in New York, she says that's everyone's top of the mind question. How will Powell micromanage financial conditions? We have reached a point where the economy is showing signs of slowing. If we don't see more slowing in the data and instead things bounce, then the Fed will have to more actively manage financial conditions. Now, remember, I explained to you guys that we do in fact have this report also coming out. So we have the PCE, right? Now, if you look at what TED Talk says, he says, Friday's definitely going to be a big day for market observers and speculators. Just like CPI, if PCE shows a peak in July and begins to trend lower from here, investor risk appetite is going to grow and risk assets will form a macro bottom in anticipation of Fed policy shifts. So we are still factoring in a potential 50 to 75 basis point raise, but from the data we've been receiving, it does seem like it could start going the other way. So that is something very, very important to bring up. However, this was breaking news that literally just came out minutes before I turned this video on to record. I threw it in here really quick. Breaking news, President Biden will cancel $10,000 in student debt for Americans earning $125,000 or less per year and households earning $250,000 a year or less. He will also extend the pause on payments for all borrowers until December 31st. Now, this is something that is actually pretty positive, especially if you are a student. Student debt loans are the only thing you pretty much can't claim bankruptcy on. You can go, Celsius can do Chapter 11, but no, student loans, you got to pay them. You can't avoid them. You can move to different countries. You still got to pay it, right? Or at least that's what they tell me. I don't know. I don't have any student debt. But why am I bringing this up? Well, if you think about it, essentially, what is this doing? If you're canceling $10,000 in student debt for Americans earning $125,000, then the way that I interpret this is breaking news. Maybe I'm wrong. I didn't read the full article, but this tells me that it's gone, kaput, wiped clean. Well, if you're wiping clean debt, aren't you in a sense creating a quasi-inflation? Just think about it. Hear me out, right? This would be money that normally I would have to pay, right? If I needed to come up with this $10,000, I am in debt, right? I'm in debt to the student loan, so I have to pay them. If you just canceled it and wiped it clean, I theoretically now have $10,000 extra dollars that I wouldn't have previously had. Now, even though they're not technically printing money, right? They're not technically printing money. In a weird way, they are, because by erasing the debt, they're actually allowing these students to now have more money on hand, right? So it's just something to consider. Maybe it doesn't mean anything. Maybe I'm overlooking this, but it just seems to me like, they become hawkish, they raise the rates, they get aggressive, and then they just start, forgiveness and printing and all this other stuff again. So really good for students, if you're in debt and everything like that. I just wonder if this could be the beginning of the snowball forming the avalanche, right? Now, this is the part that does kind of concern me. And this came out, you guys have probably heard about what's been going on with Tornado Cash. So it sparked a debate over privacy and free speech ever since the U.S. Treasury sanctioned the crypto mixer earlier this month, prompting U.S. Congressman Tom Emmer to weigh in. So he said that they've added about 45 Ethereum addresses to their specifically designated nationals. So U.S. citizens would no longer legally be allowed to use the protocol or interact with its addresses. So it is officially illegal at this point to use this mixing service, right? So I've never used this service before personally. Some people have, some people haven't, but it's not a matter of if you have or if you haven't. It's a matter of this privacy concern, right? Not to mention the fact that they arrested the developer in Amsterdam over his suspected role in facilitation of money laundering. Now, if you think about it, he created a platform for privacy. People used it for nefarious purposes, and now he's in trouble for it, right? That's like I make a website. Somebody does something on this website, I'm in trouble for it. Oh, wait, where has that happened before, right? So the sanctioning of neutral, open source, decentralized technology presents a series of new questions which impact not only our national security, but the right to privacy of every American citizen. Emmer went on, essentially, to say, my hope is that lawmakers, law enforcers, and regulators can work with the crypto space to stop bad actors while also protecting the rights to free speech. So they're saying that it's been used to launder over $7 billion in crypto, although that number from what I'm hearing is insanely inflated. In fact, there was some data that came out, I don't have the charts, that was saying that no, actually most of the transactions were very legit from what they can tell. But this is the thing that he asked. So he asked them to confirm whether or not ordinary Americans who received unsolicited funds from sanctioned addresses are in a breach of the law, because there were basically these people that were sending zero point 0.01 ETH to addresses of popular, influencers, people in the space, celebrities. So the question is, if somebody was to send me Ethereum or you Ethereum, some Ether in your wallet, I didn't ask for it, right? But it just shows up in my wallet, then all of a sudden, have I committed a crime? And also, not to mention, this is one of the strangest things we've ever seen sanctioned, software. A contract, a smart contract, right? So then this begs the question, how deep does the rabbit hole really go? And with Ethereum moving into proof of stake, now we know that they can block these addresses. They can, bribe exchanges to, because if you put, a lot of people leave their Ethereum on exchanges. So even though they're technically staking it and they're giving you the rewards, they're the real validators, right? They're the ones with the actual power. It's all an IOU, not your keys, not your coins, right? Very, very concerning. And this is the part of crypto that I knew was going to be coming at some point. I knew it was going to start intertwining with regulations and, things like the Howey test, so outdated. We really need an updated regulatory framework, and we need to respect privacy while also allowing innovation to grow. You don't want to stifle innovation. Look, I agree. Like, this is definitely a place where you could money launder. You could do that, right? You could do that. But, you know, you could also go down to the bar and just throw a bunch of dollars in a pot and grab other dollars, right? If I give you a $20 bill and you give me back another $20 bill, but we just swap 20s, it's still a 20, right? Is it? I don't know. So, but it's a little different, I guess, because it's a mixer and it's digital. I get it. But ultimately, like he said technology is neutral and the expectation of privacy is normal. But then we get into this situation, right? So Tether may be in violation of U.S. sanctions on Tornado Cash. Tether's CTO said the company is not obligated to comply with U.S. sanctions rules because they're located out of Hong Kong. But this stance does put Tether at legal risk. And then it also begs the question, what is open source versus what is not allowed to be open source? And, you know, Johns Hopkins University professor of science, Matthew Green, he re-uploaded the code for Ethereum mixing service Tornado Cash. Is that illegal that he uploaded the code? Well, we're not using it, but is the code itself illegal? Or is us interacting with the code the illegal part? He stated that the move to upload the code is aimed to facilitate teaching and research focusing on the elements like cryptocurrency privacy. He says, I've extensively used the Tornado Cash and Tornado Nova source code to teach concepts related to cryptocurrency privacy and zero-knowledge technology. My students have built amazing projects from the code. The loss or decreased availability of this source code will be harmful to the scientific and technical community. So it's just something I wanted to bring up. You know, where does, privacy sort of end, and tyranny begin? I just made that up. I don't know. You don't understand what I'm trying to say? I don't know, because at some point you do have to respect people's privacy. You know, it's not everyone's business to know what everyone does with their money. If no one is doing anything that's harming anybody, no one is hurting anyone by their actions, if I want to go buy something with cash at a flea market, does everybody have to know? You know what I'm trying to say? So there is that fine line between privacy and it's a very interesting question, and I just wanted to get your opinions on that below, guys. Let me know what you think. Again, like I said, it does look potentially like we could be putting in a double bottom right here, right? 1, 2, and obviously breaking out right now as we speak. Let's see if it confirms. You guys know my targets. You guys know my levels. Obviously, we're going to keep our eye on what happens on Friday, and let me know what you think about this sort of proof of stake Ethereum, power to the biggest holders, and then Tornado Cash, the sanctions, Tether. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just a very, very interesting time to be alive right now. So let me know what you guys think about that below in the description. Obviously, I will keep you updated, let you know what is going on in the charts. Right now, we're just waiting for that move, waiting for the breakout to the upside or to the downside. Friday is going to be the day to watch. Then, of course, we go into the crazy weekends, and Monday, we could be having that move. But on the lower time frames right here, we are looking like we do want to break out of this right now, guys. So that's it for me. Thank you for coming back to the channel. And what else we got? Friendly reminder, if you do want to trade over on BitGet, make sure you take advantage of those bonuses. You can enter the code, or you can just click the link below in the description. Thank you so much for coming back. You guys rock. Have a wonderful and beautiful day. My name is K-Dub. This is Crypto Zombie. Until next time, stay crypto, and of course, peace out.